Hi, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, and welcome to May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Yes, we are honoring Star Wars today. So, I just wanted to go over a couple of quick things with you before we get started. I did post the test, so the retake is up. If you did well on the test and you're happy with your score, you do not need to do the retake. You only need to do the retake if A, you never took the first test in the first place, and B, you're not happy with your score, you want a better score. Yes, I do take the higher of the two scores. So if you did better the second time, I dropped the first score. If you did better the first time, I dropped the second score. So hopefully that clears some things up. You have until Friday, 11:45 to take the retake. I am not planning on reopening. So anyway, you are right. I did notice the chat. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who are not experiencing some of their end of year events. For example, this past Friday was supposed to be grad venture for my son. This Friday is supposed to be your grad venture. My son's missing his pool party, his clap out, his graduation. Everything has been taken away. The seniors in high school are missing their prom. Their graduation's been postponed. But it's just a lot of things that have been taken away. So Esteban, you're right. It did kind of, end with a whimper and not with a bang. So, but hopefully you guys will have a fabulous senior graduation, and we won't have anything that's repeated in 4 years. But let's get on with the lesson. For lesson 90, I did post a video. I didn't do it because I need multiple people to do it with me. It's kind of hard to just do by myself because you can't measure. I have to record it separately. Not yet. Yeah. So I do have to record it. And once I record it, if I can do it properly, I'll post it. But I did put a video there. It's in a Word document. If you click on the Vimeo, it'll take you to the video. So today we're going to talk about transverse and longitudinal waves. A transverse wave is, and I'm actually going to show you what they look like. Okay, so a longitudinal wave transfers energy through the compression, and a transverse wave does not have compressions and what are called rarefactions. In other words, a compression and a rarefaction, they go like this, and you'll see it when I do the wave. But in a transverse wave, and you are more familiar with the transverse wave, for example, this type of a wave, that is a transverse wave. So for me to perform it is going to be very, 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 very simple and quick. So, okay, so if you look at the slinky, now it's very hard to do when you have only one person doing it, but do you see how the wave is moving? Okay, and I'm trying not to get it too long so it doesn't bend. Okay, but those waves where the compression goes through the spring that way, okay, this is a longitudinal wave. So the compression goes through the spring, okay, this way. So at the points where it's compressing, you have your compression, and at your points where it's extending, and it's very hard because I can't slow it down, but at the points that we're releasing, it's called a rarefaction. Okay, so the compression part obviously is a compression, and where it's expanding in the other parts is the rarefaction. Now a longitudinal wave, okay, is a wave that you're more familiar with. So that is a longitudinal wave, okay? And you guys are more familiar with that. If you watch the center, you'll see that, remember, the energy is transferring through the wave, making it go up and down and up and down and up and down. So, and of course, the faster I move my hand, the more the wave compresses. Okay? That is true. Definition of compression via slinky. So once again, a longitudinal, you have your compressions and rarefactions, and there you would have to slow the video down to see it, but you know, when I release here, there are certain parts that are compressed and certain parts that undergo rarefaction. Okay, and the longitudinal wave, okay, I think this might be easier to see, the longitudinal wave as well. Okay, does that make sense? So that would have been the activity you would have done. Now you would have done a few things with it. You would have diagrammed it, whether you were going slower or faster, if you were to increase the amplitude. In other words, instead of doing I would have been. Now, actually, if you look, you can, when I do it quickly, how many of you, and just say yes or thumbs up or even a Y, how many of you can actually see when I do it really fast, different areas of compression and rarefaction? Can you see it? So some areas where the spring is more compressed and some areas where the spring is more extended. Okay. And you would have also gone from maybe, it's easier with my right hand, gone from this to maybe moving it a little bit faster and seeing how fast it goes if you increase, you know, well, if you increase the amplitude, you can see, you know, whether or not it slows down. So you have your, and then the amplitude, as you increase it, you can see it doesn't move as quickly. Okay, so that is what you would have done for 91, which is longitudinal versus transverse waves. Now, I'm not expecting you to diagram anything. Well, the slinky is probably making the noise. Well, thank you. Okay, the slinky is probably what's making that noise, and I do apologize for that. There is no other background noise, so I'm thinking it's the slinky that's doing that. But I did want you to see that. So now, your analysis questions, I know I have to put analysis questions for 90. For those of you who missed it earlier, I did post a video. You're welcome. Happy Star Wars Day. Yay, May the 4th. Okay. I did post the video, and I'm not happy with it because they don't actually take the measurements, but I'm going to attempt to recreate it with actual measurements so that you can see data. It's difficult because once you see the video, you'll understand one person would have to hold it, one person would have to measure, one person would have to hold the timer. There are multiple people involved, and it's difficult to do that. So I'm hoping to recruit some help for that. Okay. I will post the questions. It was a super busy morning. I actually worked for a solid 3.5 hours before getting ready for class, but I will post the questions for 90, and I will also post the questions for 91. You are not expected to draw anything. I will post the picture so you could see what you would have been drawing, but you're not expected to draw anything. You are expected to just answer the questions. And from there, we will move into activity, I believe it's activity 92. Just so you know, I know there's one activity that we are skipping, but our last activity of the year is going to be activity 99. Just want to let you know. So if you have any questions, comments, wow, this video is super short. Any questions, comments, anything that you need assistance with, please let me know. There really isn't much for me to cover. This was a very short activity, so you guys have a short lesson. I think I may cut out one lesson this week and I'll let you know. See, that was pretty much it. So I'll post these pages for you as well. But you really just did need to learn the difference between longitudinal and transverse, which we just did. And I'll probably do what I did before. I'll format it a little bit differently, but that quiz that I gave you, where you had to drag and drop, for anyone who happened to get a 0 on it, it's because it grades it, either it's completely right or it's completely wrong. So you would have noticed, unless you did it within the last 45 minutes, well, within the last couple hours, because after I graded this morning, I did other things. But anyone who had it done by 8:30 this morning or before that, I went in, if you got a 0, and I identified how many you got right, and I changed your grade. Now you can go back and reattempt. You're welcome to do that. If you want to go watch activity 90 again, plus everything is behind me, you're welcome to reattempt. Okay. So I may do another one like that. And, you know, since this video is short, it's not like the video is too long, just to maybe, you know, help you guys get through the content a little bit better and maybe help you prepare for the end of unit test. I don't know if there's a midpoint test. I don't think there is, but I'm going to go ahead and post that, those little quizzes. I think they help and they're super short. Okay. Star Wars, Clone Wars. To tell you the truth, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I know that is shocking. Some movies I like better than others. Unfortunately, some of you are going to hate me for this, but I'm a Trekkie. Okay, I really like Star Trek. Star Wars, I grew up with Star Wars, so I kind of began to get tired of Star Wars as all the additional movies came out. The original ones I did enjoy. The ones with Luke Skywalker's daughter, I enjoyed. Okay. Was not a fan of Rogue One. Kind of bothered me a little bit. But, you know, some I liked more than others. I struggled with some of them. But, you know, everyone has their own opinion. Of course, I respect, not only am I wearing a Star Wars shirt, which I own, but I actually designed several of them that are on my site. So clearly, you know, I am in support of Star Wars. So I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. I'm gonna have to formulate a coherent thought on that, Esteban. Yeah. I struggle with some of them. So I saw Back to the Future a very long time ago. Much too long ago. So, all right, guys, I've covered everything in that section. I can see why they lumped 90 and 91 together. And if we were in class, we would have been able to do both those activities on the same day. But that's pretty much it on my end. So I'll stay behind for a couple minutes if you have any questions. If not, I hope you guys have a fabulous day. I will have everything posted before the end of the day. The retake is already posted. And the video is already posted. No, you don't have to do the worksheets. But 90 and 91 questions will be posted. And you guys have the majority of the week to do that. We'll go over those questions Thursday, okay? And I may start to stretch out a little bit depending on what's going on. I may start to stretch out classes a little bit so that, you know, we finish the week before. The last week will just be the turn-in assignments. Okay, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, and may the 4th be with you.